Welcome to a brand new episode of the Michele Tafoya podcast. Please hit that subscribe button, whether you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Rumble or YouTube. We'd love to have you visit with us every single time. We drop 3 times a week, and you would have access to the entire catalog as well. We've had some great interviews, great stuff, and it's free to subscribe. So why wouldn't you? Just hit subscribe. Okay, having said that, today is Wildcard Wednesday. Those of you familiar with our Wednesday format know that there really is no format. We kind of just bounce all over the place. And what we try to do is build it around fun videos. Today, it's kind of a feel-good edition. It's not necessarily political, not necessarily cultural, although it may touch on that. But hopefully, it's just going to uplift your spirits. And who doesn't need that? I begin with Bill Maher, who he uplifts some people's spirits, not everyone's, but he gave this little speech, this little public service announcement about bringing back what he calls the trad dad, which is the traditional dad. Roll it, Misty.
This is why the traditional dad, the trad dad, needs to make a comeback. Not all the way back to the 1950s psychopath who never said he loved you and hit you with a belt, no. But just back to the dad who believes that because I said so is a perfectly legitimate answer to any question a child may have. Just back to the dad who would never say anything as stupid as, my kid is my hero, or where do you want to eat dinner, or one more story, and then we really have to start thinking about going to bed, okay? Trad dads don't negotiate. They say, you will apologize to your mother. Don't make me turn this car around. Some things just happen because life is unfair. Clean your room, be quiet, the adults are talking, and it's not all about you. Mostly, a trad dad knows he's your parent, not your friend. He isn't your emotional support animal. He's simply a guy who understands the job to raise an adult who can survive in the wild.
Amen. You know, we all make parenting mistakes, and Bill Maher doesn't have kids, so let's be honest about that. But he's right about how parents need to, it's not just the dads, it's the moms who want to be friends with their kids. That's not your job. Your job is to raise productive, happy, healthy, mentally fit human beings that have courage and have morals and have good values. That's the job. And that does mean sometimes saying, you know what, life ain't always fair. And everyone faces that same thing. Life isn't always fair to anybody. Okay, so I liked that. I liked that a lot. I also liked Ricky Gervais. Some of the stories that we tell on this podcast could keep you awake at night, but here's what you can do to help. It's called Sleep Cream, sleep.com. It's an all-natural CBD-based topical that you put right on your skin at bedtime. I usually put it on the insides of my forearms, maybe the bottoms of my feet, and they smell fantastic. While the lavender is my favorite, they have a new rose-scented one out that is Sleep Cream Rose. It's awesome. But here's the best part. It works. And if it doesn't work for you, just let them know and they'll give you your money back within the first 30 days. That's a guarantee. That's a guarantee. Sleep Cream, sleepcreme.com. Use the code HOMERUN at checkout to get free standard shipping on your first order. That's the code HOMERUN at checkout for free standard shipping on your first order. If you want to sleep better, use what I use. That is Sleep Cream. Sleepcreme.com. Sleepcream.com. I also liked Ricky Gervais. And, you know, he had sort of this pivotal moment, Ricky Gervais, comedian out of the UK, this pivotal moment where he sort of set Hollywood, he kind of roasted them and he set them straight on what their job is. And it was pretty glorious. Let's roll it.
Oh, Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show. A superb drama, yeah. A superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, Don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off, okay? So...
I think he was drinking beer up there. I think so. Anyway, do you remember that? It's one of those great moments in entertainment history. Oh my gosh, he just ripped Tim Cook in front of the entire joint. Apple, it's about doing the right thing and dignity, and yet you make your products in sweatshops in China. It was fabulous. Fabulous. Here is a beautiful moment between a family and their daughter, and so many of these beautiful moments involve pets, and this is no exception. This is a little story about a dog. Let's watch.
What? Who is that? They got a dog. This is Rambo. Oh, baby.
Okay, got a little misty there. Okay, so the premise there. Now, those of you who are listening on Spotify or Apple, here's go back and watch it either on Rumble or YouTube if you get a chance. But here's the idea. This young woman, she's probably in her late teens, she had worked at an animal shelter, and she fell in love with this dog that she helped care for at the animal shelter. And so her parents decided to go and adopt the dog for her and surprise her with it on Christmas. They just had the dog outside. They asked her to come outside, and they recorded the entire thing. And she is beside herself. And then you're beside yourself watching it because there is something about a dog. Now, I am both a cat and a dog person. I believe you can be both. But dogs, man, when God made dogs, there's that book, A Dog's Purpose, which they made into a film, which if you want a good cry, if you need a good therapeutic rinse, go watch that. Dogs are universally loved. I know there are a few people out there who are afraid of dogs or don't like dogs. I don't think Ozzy Osborne ever hurt a dog. I think he bit the head off of a live bat. Although I don't know, they say the live bat was thrown on stage and he picked it up and bit the head off. Here's the thing. And he said later he thought it was plastic. Here's the thing about that. How do you throw a bat on a stage that's alive, like a live bat? Wouldn't it just fly away? And then how did Ozzy Osborne? I want to see video footage. I want to see evidence. But what happens when George W. Bush and Ozzy Osborne are in the same room together? Roll it, Misty.
Laura and I are honored to be here tonight. Thanks for the invitation. What a fantastic audience we had tonight. Washington power brokers, celebrities, Hollywood stars, Ozzy Osborne. Okay, Ozzy. Might have been a mistake.
I love that. And, it's been some time now since Ozzy Osborne passed away. By the way, how poetic was it really that he gave his last show, which had so many wonderful tributes from other musicians, basically got to watch all of these people sing his songs, pay him tribute. It was like being at your own funeral. And then a week later, he died. So I ran across that old clip and I liked it. So I thought I'd include it in our feel good edition today. Another big topic these days is immigration. Now, there are two kinds of immigration in America. There's legal and there's illegal. And don't conflate them. And don't let anyone else conflate them for you. They are apples and oranges. They are not the same. Illegal immigrants come across and they either kind of smuggle their way in, or they're gotaways, or they wait on a court date and never show up, or some people do it the legal way, the right way. And this was posted by a friend of mine on X, so I thought I'd show it to you. Roll it.
We got the flag, y'all. If you know an immigrant, if you are an immigrant, you know how much it means to want this one flag. Oh my God. Oh, I'm probably looking a mess right now. Hold up. Yeah, we did it. We did it. Girls, Missy, hey, we did it. Mia, where you at? We did it. Hey, yes!
So I love that. I don't know where he's from. I mean, his English is really good. There's no trace of an accent there, so maybe Canada. I don't know. But I love that. And his dogs even got in on the act. Love that. And it is one of the reasons that legal immigration is so important, because the people who spend the time and do it right and go through the process and spend the money and do it, you're cheating them of something when you let people in who haven't done it and then who just sort of live in the shadows. So that's a feel good. This is kind of a feel good in a strange kind of way. There's this guy, Nick, I'm going to say Freighus. It might be Freighus. He is on X, and he had an epiphany. And he wanted to share it with all of this. And some of you, this will make you feel very, very good. This will be very uplifting because it's kind of cathartic what Nick Freighus has to say. Let's roll it and it'll speak for itself.
Well, I think I'm finally able to define what it is I've been experiencing for close to 10 years now whenever I get into a conversation with someone who is woke. Now, I don't mean someone who's liberal. I mean someone who is proudly woke. You see, I'm trying to debate and they are trying to diagnose. Let me give you an example. Let's say I were to say something crazy like, I'm open to immigration. I just think it should be legal. I also think we need a strong border and we need significant immigration reform before we continue. Oh, so you're xenophobic. No, I don't have an irrational fear or hatred toward other people or cultures, but I do believe that culture matters. And if you're coming from a cultural tradition which has very, very different customs, traditions, and legal standards than the United States, well, that might not be the best for social cohesion, especially when it comes in the form of mass illegal immigration. Oh, so you're racist. No, I don't believe in the inherent superiority or inferiority of any person based off of their race. I think people should be judged based off of their individual actions and character. But let me give you an example to clarify my position. If you were to mass import people from a country where they believe that it's perfectly reasonable to criminally prosecute women for showing their hair in public, that might not lead to the best blending with American society. You get what I mean? Oh, yeah, so you're Islamophobic. Okay, I see what you're doing now. This is not about even trying to understand my arguments or perspective. This is all about trying to incorrectly diagnose me so you can then ignore all of my arguments and perspectives. And if that's what you're going to do, what's the point in talking to you?
So that clip makes me feel good because A, I'm not alone, and B, he is spot on. If in answer to every argument that somebody makes, whether they're liberal or conservative, your answer is you're a homophobe. Oh, transphobic. Oh, xenophobe. Oh, you're racist. Oh, you're sexist. He put it in a great way. You're trying to diagnose. And therefore, in trying to diagnose you, they are trying to shame you. Because none of those things is a good thing. It's not good to be homophobic. It's not good to be racist. It's not good to be xenophobic, Islamophobic. None of those are good things. And a phobia is an irrational fear. And so, no, I don't have an irrational fear of these things. So you're trying to label me, diagnose me, but also shame me into shutting up and not sharing my perspectives with anyone. Thank you, Nick Freighus. I hope I'm saying your last name right. I found that very, very, very gratifying. Okay, this one will be touching for you. I hope you can understand. I hope you can hear it. I hope you can see it. This is a story about a truck. Roll it.
Come on. All right, turn around. Turn. You turn, come on. Wait a minute, you going to take me to the mailbox, ain't you? Yeah, I know, because like, trying to go to it. Yeah, come on, keep walking, Dad. Come on, you gotta walk. Walk. Where we going? Walk. Where I'm going now? Well, just walk, then I'm walking back, get top time. That's your truck, boy? That's yours. Yeah. Yeah. No! Yeah. Diddy, this my truck! Oh my goodness. You're welcome. It's for you. It's paid for. What's up, bro?
You bought him a truck?
Yeah, I bought him a truck.
Oh! He just bought him a truck, y'all.
Okay, once again, that's one you got to see. I'll explain it to those of you listening. This guy, he's not a kid, his dad, his truck broke down. He no longer had access to his truck. So his son bought him a truck. And everything you're hearing there is his son guiding him. He has him blindfolded, and he's walking him around in this funny loop to kind of confuse his dad. And then he walks him over and takes off the blindfold, and there is the truck. And the dad simply loses it. And it is precious. And all the people who are watching, especially you can hear some of the children laughing and giggling. It's a beautiful thing. That is love, and I love it. This is a little bit different, this one. I don't know if this is going to make anyone feel good, but the message is important. This is a young girl who wrote a poem about divorce, and I'm going to guess she's anywhere from 12 to 13 years old. So let's roll this, Misty.
This is a poem I wrote about being a child of divorce. It's called One Gift. You're lucky, they say. 2 Christmases, 2 birthdays, 2 roles to play. Double the presents, double the gifts, double the families to exist. And although it's true, they love me, they do. They don't love each other. No, my dad is just the father of her children and her the mother. There may be 2 Christmas celebrations, 2 birthday parties, but there's never enough of me, enough time in one day. And then I get the text from my dad saying, hey, what do you want for your birthday this year? And cash is what I say. Now I can't tell them what I actually want. That wouldn't be fair, to say that I want both of my parents to be there. So when my mother asks what I want next year, cash is what I'll say, because what I really want is something they don't want to hear. Thank you.
I'm moved by that. It's profound. That little girl came up with that there's just not enough time, that I want you. I'll tell you I want cash because that's easy, but I really want you, and I want you to be together, but you don't want to hear that. It's so tough. It's so tough. There are no easy answers. I know I've had guests on who say, you just can't get divorced. You're impacting these kids too much. But I've also seen relationships unhealthy enough to where you're also impacting the kids. It's such a conundrum, and I don't wish it on anyone. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't wish it on anyone. All right, before we get into the last call, I want you to have a good laugh. This is a lot of fun. I don't know where this came from. It's kind of old, but that's what makes it funnier. Someone just wants to know what time it is, and so he asks while he's riding down the street on his motorcycle. Roll it, Misty.
Mi scusi, buon uomo?
Mi sa dire l'ora, per favore?
Le 5:35.
Ma è sicuro?
E 36, mo.
Ah. Grazie,
Prego.
Arrivederci. Ha mangiato il ciuchino, eh?
E no?
Senta, mi sa dire che ore sono adesso?
Andrò orta. Le 7:15.
Oh, ma sono le 7:15 spaccate. Incredibile. Ma lei come fa a leggere l'ora nelle palle del ciuchino, scusi?
No, io le alzo. Sotto c'è il campanile, vedi? Già vedi? 7:15.
I apologize to the listeners on Spotify and Apple Podcasts on audio only. It's in Italian. It's hysterical. Go back and watch. I'm not even going to try to describe that one. Okay. We heard from the guy earlier who was grateful to be a legal immigrant to this country. Let's go back to the 1950s, 60s. Desi Ares was an actor. He played Ricky Ricardo in I Love Lucy, which was an iconic show. Desi Ares was born in Cuba, and came to the United States and became a massive star and married the unparalleled Lucille Ball, incomparable Lucille Ball. And so he was getting an award, and this is the award ceremony. It's a beautiful old piece of footage. Roll it.
My first job in this country was cleaning bird cages. It's very true. We came to this country and we didn't have a cent in our pockets. From cleaning canary cages to this night here in New York, it's a long ways. And I don't think there's any other country in the world that could give you that opportunity. I want to say thank you. Thank you, America. Thank you.
You know, Lucille Ball, she's crying there at the end. She is something else. If you ever get a chance to dig up some of her old radio interviews that she interviewed other people, she'd go to their homes, these other stars. Lucille Ball was just she was really interesting, really incredible person who was damn funny. So, here is a commercial for Hooked on Phonics. This is a riot. I think the guy in this commercial was also in an episode of Friends where he played Phoebe Buffay's long-lost brother, or anyways, Phoebe Buffay had triplets for him and his wife that couldn't get pregnant. I think that's the guy in this commercial. You can tell me later if I'm correct. But here are these parents who have to have a very serious, heartfelt talk with their daughter. Roll it.
What's going on, guys?
This isn't easy to say.
Your mother and I think you're hooked on phonics.
It's preposterous.
I found this under your pillow.
I just read that for the pictures.
There are no pictures in a dictionary.
That's your opinion.
Just admit it, you're hooked on phonics.
Okay, you got me. I'm hooked on phonics.
You go.
Sweetie, we love you. When your father and I saw that Hooked on Phonics was still helping millions of families and teachers help kids learn to read, we decided to try it. 30 days later, you were reading and spelling.
Dad, don't you think Mom's being a little melodramatic?
Don't talk to your mother that way, I think.
Do you know what that means?
That's not the point. The point is, when you're hooked on phonics, yes, you can read and spell better than most kids your age, but if you're too smart, you make people uncomfortable.
Nietzsche said that sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed.
Give me that.
Nietzsche. Nietzsche.
Nietzsche.
I always thought Nietzsche was a pasta.
It is. Nietzsche carbonara.
Nietzsche's a German philosopher. Everybody knows that.
There has got to be some middle ground here.
That's called a compromise. And compromise leads to resentment.
So does using words that your parents don't understand.
Okay, Hooked on Phonics only cost us $1 to get started. And Hooked on Spelling comes with our subscription. So how about this? You get to keep your Hooked on Phonics, but you can only use words that Dad and I can understand.
This is stupendous.
Go put $1 in the swear jar.
It's creative. It's cute. It's funny. It's well executed. It makes the point. Bravo. Love that. And without further ado, our final clip today is the most conformist woman in the world. The graphics are important here. So again, if you're listening on Spotify or whatever, and you can't see everything, I apologize. Go rewatch it on YouTube. It's going to be worth it to you. So this is, again, the most conformist woman in the world.
She calls America evil. From her iPhone while sipping Starbucks, on an airplane, with Wi-Fi, while watching TV. She drinks oat milk because regular milk makes her feel colonial. She got 8 COVID shots, still caught it, and blamed the unvaccinated waiter. She has a Ukraine flag in her bio. She thinks Ukraine is a clothing brand. She says Black Lives Matter, but still clutches her bag in certain neighborhoods. She used to be vegan, now she's carnivore. Depends on who she's dating. She thinks all cops are bad, then called the cops because someone wasn't wearing a mask. She says she's a feminist until she needs a jar opened. She says, trust the science, but thinks there's more than 2 genders. She got the booster, then posted a selfie with doing my part while spreading COVID in Tulum. She drinks ayahuasca for trauma she invented last year. She says she hates capitalism, but charges $499 for Zoom breathwork. She posts about toxic masculinity. From her ex's apartment. She is the most conformist woman in the world.
I don't always drink, but when I do, it's from an organic coconut with a biodegradable straw. Stay obedient, my friends.
I love that. It was good. It made the point. All right, that's our Wildcard Wednesday for this week. Thanks for listening, watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time. Be brave, do good. Hey, you can keep up with the Trump administration when you subscribe to the Trump Report. It's an email that brings you daily highlights from the Oval Office right to your inbox 5 days a week. Subscribe today at SalemPodcastNetwork.com/Trump.